Just throw me a keyword and I'll just make something happen for it. Just throw something in the middle of the table. Go. Throw something.
Biggest risks.
The biggest risk I have seen is people not getting their finances ready. And it annoys me as well. I have a lot of clients that have been telling me, when is the best time to buy? I saved in 2024. Now I'm ready to make a move now. It's like everyone's New Year's resolution. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
If you're ready to buy last year, you should not wait it. You would have made 200K, 300K by then.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that is annoying the hell out of me is people waiting, leaving the money in their accounts and missing out on opportunities. Now, if you're going to be waiting forever, you're going to be waiting forever. And I keep telling people this. I'm like, what are you waiting for? I'm waiting for this. All external factors. You can't control it. Now, with the rate hopefully cut coming up shortly, with that one rate cut, it could just change the whole market from a buyer's market to a seller's market. Guess what? Your agents, your developers are going to have the power again. Once they have the power, good luck trying to get a good offer, a good deal. It's going to be all out the door and you're going to be waiting again for your next opportunity, which may never come. The biggest risk I have seen is people not getting their finances ready, and it annoys me as well. People saying, I want to buy a property now, I want to invest, and I ask them, so what's your borrowing capacity? What's your budget? 400K, 600K? How do you not know? You need to get your finances in order, or then everything you do after that is risky.
So how do they find out?
They need to go speak to a finance broker or someone who's a specialist in this field. And not all brokers will know how to get the best out of your borrowing capacity. Some of these investment experts will know how to take different formulas, different things into the equation to maximize your borrowing capacity. So if you can find these people and we can put you in touch with them, they can help you go from 400K to 600K borrowing capacity where you can buy that great property.
Do you think if people reached out to a broker now, would they be able to kind of tell you what your borrowing capacity would increase or decrease based on what happens with the rates?
Look, brokers should be able to do that, but I feel like that with the limited knowledge they have in the trainings, they may not be able to. That's why the guys that we partner with will know how to determine if you do this, if you change this in your situation, we can boost your BC. So I guess that's the one thing that I guess I would say. And so why do we pick some developers over the others? I guess it's their care factor. So big thing for me, if a developer doesn't care about their product or what they're doing, it's a no for me. I'm not going to touch it. Because at the end of the day, I know developers have money, they're the big evil guys, but some developers actually do care about their product. And those ones that do care, guess what? They want to house your future families. And those products are going to grow in value. And there's not many of them around, but there are a few. And those few that are out there, we show our clients that this is why these developers are great, because of they're looking after the community, looking after their product, and they have longevity. They're there for the next 10, 15 years, growing the whole area. They're contributing to the success of the suburb. And I guess people don't know that. They don't want to believe that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know the process that we go through when we're looking at developers either. So to your point, we're looking at the longevity of that developer in developing the region or the suburb, but we're also looking at the longevity of whether they can deliver the project. So if they're too small, there may be a risk of them not being able to follow through with the finance of the project. If they're too big, they may, neglect it, having way too many, and that has a different risk in itself.
100%, and I see so many people saying that it's the biggest fear is them not completing their project.
Yeah.
And 100%, like pre-COVID, and even during COVID, there was a lot of constructions that were pulling out last second because the prices just skyrocketed, the build prices. I guess you're right. We want to understand the client's financial position, so we know the developer is actually going to contribute to the success of the development, and they care about it as well.
Yeah.
So I think you hit the money.
Yeah, we're looking at the borrowing capacity of our clients and almost the borrowing capacity of our developers. What's your client story of the week, Dan?
I've had a client that's been following me on my socials for about 2 years now. They've known me for a long time. They always ask me questions about upcoming events, webinars, all that kind of stuff. And now, for some unknown reason, like I entertained the responses, but I didn't think he was going to come to our webinar. He did come. He's like, I learned so much. I loved the webinar. And I told him, I'm like, great. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you got the most out of it. However, if you joined it 2 years ago when we first spoke, you would have made $300,000. And he's like, I'm like, yeah, look at our first message. We looked at the message, 12th of August, 2023. If he actually committed then, it would have been a whole different game. And guess what? He had more money back then as well.
Yeah.
So client story of the week, don't wait. Act now.
Dan,
crazy.
did you see NAB cut their rates by 0.25?
You know what's crazy? Yes, I saw that. And I keep telling everyone, now Westpac are following suit. Now ANZ don't want to cut their rates. So now 3 out of the 4 major banks are saying that the rate cut is now coming. And guess what? Now that means it actually may happen.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing people saying, no, it's going to happen. Yes, it will happen. If the banks are forecasting rate cuts now for their fixed rates, then they are saying that in the near future, rates are going to drop.
Yeah,
Hopefully it's in coming days.
definitely.
If not, it's happening sooner than we all
Yeah,
expect.
and 0.25 is no small drop.
No,
Like
no,
that's I think that's the biggest jump we had when rates were going up.
Yep.
So 0.25 is pretty big in the scheme of things.
And I can see the cameraman behind us saying that I can't wait to buy another property.
Yeah. What would you say to people who, I guess, are looking at the rates and thinking, I want to refinance to help my, cost of living situation, get a better rate? Do you think they should be refinancing? Do you think they should refinance and buy another property?
I think it's time now to have that refinance conversation. I think now, forget about the cashbacks, forget about what's out there, get your best structure for you, and now start looking at how much money you can save
Yeah.
on your mortgage, because you could be paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars of fees every single quarter and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
So now speak to the broker, get your finances ready, so then when you know you get a better rate, you're saving money and you can budget yourself for your next, hopefully, investment property.
Yeah. So even if they're not quite ready to buy now, refinancing to get a better rate now, look at it when that fixed rate is nearly
100%.
over, not when it's over, before it ends, to strategize and plan for after that.
Strategy is key, my friends. Strategy is key.
I actually just caught up with Jeff, our head of finance.
Jeffrey!
Our finance broker, and he was telling me that he now has rates in the 5% range.
I gave him my mortgages. I'm like, come on, Jeff, let's make this happen.
I haven't seen a 5% number in a long time. It feels like a long time anyway.
It's happening. Rates are coming down. It's happening. The most misleading stats.
Their online borrowing capacity.
That's actually a good one. You surprised me.
Yeah, because the online borrowing capacity calculators don't take into consideration everything.
People believe that they can borrow $2.2 million when they can borrow actually 800K. Like, it's crazy. Just
Actually,
get the advice.
It's lower.
Is it lower?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
no.
found the online ones.
For me, when I've looked at it, when I was looking to buy property when I started, I found they were higher because I didn't have a mortgage at the time. Now that I have a mortgage, I feel like it undersells. So like
Sure.
it tells 200,000 instead of 400,000.
That is correct.
So I guess that just comes to the importance of what you were saying. Speak to a mortgage broker or a finance specialist to understand your finances. I need to book a meeting with Jeff actually to look at my finances.
What about me?
What made you kind of come around to, hey, now's a good time to start looking again?
I guess I'm in a point where I've had a property for a couple of years now. It's grown in equity. I'm also in a midpoint in growing my family. So before I grow my family even more, it's time to look at that next step in growing my wealth before I contribute to, capping my borrowing capacity with a second dependent.
Ooh. Family grows, the wealth grows.
And Dan, you've got 2 kids yourself. Is that something you considered as well?
100%. I want to make sure that these kids have a little area for themselves. They have their toys in one bunch. As long as they're away from the main areas of the house, they can put all your toys in the corner, guys. I guess it's important. Like, I need to be near parks. I need them to go outside.
Yeah.
I want to be in safe areas. And ultimately, investing in property when I was younger allowed me to give my kids that. That's the biggest key. It allowed me to go to an area that I can go to. If I didn't have those properties, there would be no way that I could give them the lifestyle that I have today. When I started investing in properties, everyone told us don't buy Southwest Sydney, go more towards the inner city suburbs. At the end of the day, back then when I was investing when I was 21, this was almost 10 years ago, that 600K was expensive, let's be real. And those inner suburbs were hitting that 800, 900K price point for a little property. I just couldn't afford that.
Yeah.
So I had to be smart. I went to all these webinars. I tried looking at places that I could invest in, and I came to the conclusion, where are people going? Where is the population growing? Yes, there's land everywhere, but people still want to be closer to cities and CBDs. Back then, I was a young kid. I had to be close to work. I had to take transport to work.
Yeah.
And back then, there wasn't stations and connectivity like they have right now. So I made the decision to buy in a suburb in Liverpool, CBD. 650. I remember clear as day. My parents said, "Don't do it. Don't do it." I'm like, "Come on, man, guys. It's a good opportunity. It makes sense for me. I've done my research pretty heavily, and I back myself all the time." But everyone put doubt in my mind. Fast forward, let's just say 5 years, and it was already worth close to $150 to $2 million. Fast forward now, it's even worth more than that. But what it allowed me to do is during that time, I took out equity as I went along. I bought a property in Brisbane, went from 400k all the way to 800k. Bought another one in Sydney. I was lucky enough to have enough equity in both those properties to go again. But the biggest thing for me was I had enough equity and funds, no matter where I was at in my career, if I was building a business or if I was trying to just set up something new for myself,
Yeah.
or it was just a hard market, hard economy like it is right now. I always had equity and money to fall back on, so I didn't have to let my kids and my family worry.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing for me, because I wanted to give them the lifestyle that they can go on a bike near a safe park and it's good for them, and that was the biggest thing for me, because growing up I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I had to stay inside because outside wasn't the best, let's just say that. So those little things for me, I'm really setting up my kids for some kind of success in the future. But if I didn't have property, there was no way I could do all this.
Yeah. Do you recommend people look at buying property early before families even thought of?
100%. If you can, like everyone buys a car before they start a family or do something in their career. If you can just, I'm not saying don't buy a car. I'm just saying don't buy a $100,000 car. Maybe buy a 30, 40 grand car. It does the same job, and put that extra money or those cash savings into a property, because before you know it, blink of an eye, life happens, and a decade goes by. Let's say that rates change, economy changes, and if you did have that property, guess what? No matter what you do, you're in a job, you're out of a job, you're starting your own business venture, you're going overseas. You have property that is making money over time that allows you to have that flexibility and that financial freedom.
Yeah, it's still growing in the background. And I mean, me as a woman, I hate playing that card, but that's something else that I think about, because taking time off to grow a family and have kids means that I am not being paid super. So I need to look at other avenues to grow my wealth for my future, having that time off to have kids.
But if anyone told us this when I was 21, 22, I would have never thought of all these little things, but having the experiences at a younger age of hard upbringings allowed me to kind of plan for my future. And if you told me now, like, I'm still in my 30s and I'm still not thinking about planning for my retirement, but I know that it's necessary. Because decades go by before you know it. So planning and property is key for me.
Yeah.